Have you ever felt that the more you think deeply, the more isolated you become? That the more you understand, the fewer people want to listen? This isn't just in your head, history and psychology confirm it. Society has always feared deep thinkers, not because they are wrong, but because they see what others refuse to acknowledge. From Socrates to Nietzsche, from Galileo to Tesla, brilliant minds have been ridiculed, silenced, or ignored not for lacking intelligence, but for making people uncomfortable. Arthur Schopenhauer, one of history's most brutally honest philosophers, believed intelligence was a curse that isolates those who perceive reality too clearly. But why does this happen? Why does society resist those who think differently? The answer lies in human psychology. The mirror effect. Why intelligence threatens people. Consider this. When you meet someone physically stronger than you don't necessarily feel weak. You may admire their strength. When you encounter someone wealthier, you might envy them, but you don't feel personally attacked. Yet, when you meet someone intellectually superior, something peculiar happens. Psychologists call this the mirror effect. A deep thinker doesn't just introduce new ideas, they reflect back the limitations of those around them. And people don't forgive that easily. The mere presence of someone who thinks deeply can make others feel inadequate, even if the thinker says nothing at all. But why does intelligence, more than any other form of superiority, provoke such discomfort? Intelligence versus identity, a psychological battle. Unlike physical strength or wealth, intelligence is deeply tied to identity. We define ourselves by our thoughts, beliefs, and understanding of the world. When someone challenges these foundations, when they question what we take for granted, it feels like a direct attack on our sense of self. This is why, instead of admiring intelligence, many subconsciously resist it. Not because the thinker is arrogant, but because their existence forces others to confront their own intellectual limits. History shows this pattern repeatedly. Socrates was executed for corrupting the youth with critical thinking. Galileo was imprisoned for proving the earth revolved around the sun. Tesla died in obscurity while his ideas were stolen and monetized by others. Deep thinkers don't just challenge ideas, they challenge egos. And human beings will do almost anything to protect their ego from discomfort. Think about your own experiences. Have you ever shared a complex idea, only to be met with blank stares? Have you noticed how conversations quickly shift when discussions move beyond surface-level chatter? This isn't a coincidence, it's a defense mechanism. When people encounter a deep thinker, their mind enters self-preservation mode. Instead of curiosity, they respond with resistance. Instead of engagement, they dismiss. Studies reveal that confidence is often valued more than intelligence in social settings. People gravitate toward those who project certainty even if their ideas are shallow. This explains why charismatic but simplistic speakers gain more influence than nuanced thinkers. Neuroscience of fear. Why intelligence triggers a threat response. Modern research confirms that intelligence can activate the brain's amygdala, the region responsible for fear. When people feel intellectually inferior, their brain reacts as if facing danger. Why? Because for most of human history, survival depended on social acceptance, not intelligence. Being ostracized from the tribe meant vulnerability, even death. As a result, our brains prioritize fitting in over standing out. A 2021 Stanford study found that in group settings, the threat response to intelligence intensifies. People don't just react to the thinker, they react to how others perceive them in comparison. If someone feels outshined, they may instinctively undermine the thinker to protect their social standing. Several psychological biases explain society's resistance to intelligence. 1. Dunning-Krueger effect. Low-ability individuals overestimate their intelligence, while highly intelligent people doubt themselves. This creates friction. 2. Status quo bias. The brain prefers familiar ideas over disruptive truths. 3. Backfire effect. When confronted with contradicting facts, people double down on their beliefs. In the digital age, these biases are amplified. Social media algorithms favor engagement over depth, meaning shallow, emotionally charged content spreads faster than nuanced discussions. Arthur Schopenhauer argued that intelligence is not a gift but a curse. While most people seek pleasure and comfort, Deep thinkers pursue truth even when it leads to pain. He believed, most people live by the will to live, seeking comfort, survival, and pleasure. Deep thinkers operate by the will to truth, seeking understanding, even at the cost of isolation. This creates a fundamental disconnect. Where society finds meaning in relationships and entertainment, deep thinkers often see these as distractions from existential questions. Schopenhauer wrote, "A high degree of intellect tends to make a man unsocial. The more you understand, the harder it is to ignore the world's flaws. The deeper you think, the lonelier you become." Is there hope for deep thinkers? Society isn't built to embrace intelligence. It's built to maintain stability. But history shows that while deep thinkers may be rejected in their time, their ideas often shape the future. For those who feel isolated, 1. Embrace solitude, use it for creativity and intellectual growth. 2. Seek like-minded individuals, find communities that value depth. 3. Engage wisely, not everyone is ready for challenging ideas. Choose your audience carefully. If you've ever felt alone in your thoughts, know this, you are not broken. You are simply seeing the world more clearly than most. Society doesn't fear intelligence, it fears what intelligence reveals. Deep thinkers aren't rejected because they're wrong. They're rejected because they're right too soon.